Many fans of Michigan football are criticizing how the program is handling NIL. NIL, if you don't know what it stands for, is name, image, and likeness. I think all of us pictured the NIL era a bit differently. For me, I pictured players committing to a university and then they have the free reign to sell autographs, sell their jerseys and stuff like that. And then, maybe make some deals with local businesses. Instead, what we have right now is mayhem, for lack of a better word. We have 17-year-olds making millions of dollars before they ever play a down in college football. Now, the current CEO of a company called Valiant, which is a sports marketing agency, is Jared Wangler. And if you're a Michigan fan, you know Jared used to play for Michigan. And this is what he had to tweet about the NIL situation, telling Michigan fans maybe to calm down just a little bit. Before I read the tweet, make sure you're subscribed to the channel here because I got plenty of Michigan content coming before the season, during the season, after the season. Just click subscribe. Did you click it? All right, now let's read the tweet. After actively working as a marketing representative in the NIL space with Michigan student athletes for a year now, I feel I can confidently share some thoughts on what's taking place and why everyone needs to take a deep breath and recalibrate. The rule change has proven time and time again to be a net win for college athletics. The NCAA amateurism model was a sham, a billion-dollar entity with a labor force of 18 to 22-year-olds barred from sharing in the riches. Since July 2021, U of M student athletes have made millions of dollars in compliant NIL activities, and we believe that will continue to accelerate at an even stronger pace. This is what the NIL rule change was meant to be all about. Unfortunately, this has been reduced to a blip in the greater NIL discussion. Our coaches and athletic department have taken an unfair beating due to the frustrations of those who watch other institutions violate the prohibitions on recruiting inducements. The statements from those who label themselves as insiders that the administration is holding us back are highly misinformed. Our administration supports NIL. They have invested in resources to help our student athletes maximize their earning potential. They support the student athletes using school marks in a compliant manner. They support our collective on the basis that we curate NIL opportunities for our current, not prospective student athletes. The line is drawn at NCAA violating recruiting inducements. Being a former player myself, I don't think paying massive sums to athletes that have not played a down at this level is going to be good for locker room chemistry or really be a wise use of dollars in the long term. That said, we wish the university was a bit more progressive around what they could do to help promote and facilitate NIL opportunities alongside us. We believe that paying the guys who are here really, really well is the key to long-term success. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, NIL has become one of the most important pillars of the recruiting process. I am all for getting the bag and seizing a financial opportunity of a lifetime, but let's be clear. This is becoming more about shady advisors/agents who couldn't sell their services to successful business people in the first place. Now they're finding success in manipulating high schoolers and their families for their own monetary gain and power grip, rather than helping find the best program that will be responsible for what is arguably the most critical development period of someone's life, both on and off the field. Champion Circle, the existing Michigan collective founded by successful U of M alumni, is working to ensure that there are enough compliant NIL deals in order to provide each player on the football team the opportunity to be compensated at the highest level in college football. Instead of worrying about paying a 17-year-old recruit $2 million a year, how about we focus on getting our starting quarterback 2 to 3 times that amount? We believe that this is the sustainable model and will breed a culture of leadership at the University of Michigan. I'm not sure that what Jared says here is going to settle the fan base at all. I know there are a lot of people who disagree with what he says and thinks that Michigan should be, playing the same game that the other universities are playing. And I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it because I think that just paying players lots of money who have never played at all is a little bit of a gray area. So I don't know. Maybe I sound like a boomer. Maybe I am. I don't know. It's a blurry line for sure. I'm sure we'll see a lot of regulations on NIL, or at least some. We should. And maybe there's already some that I don't know about. I don't know. But we'll also see some repercussions of 17-year-olds who are making millions of dollars. They can't even legally buy lottery tickets yet, and they're given this enormous lump sum of money. What happens when the recruit just doesn't pan out? They just make millions of dollars and they're just not any good. How is that going to be like in the locker room and stuff like that? I don't know. I guess time will tell. I wanted to bring up another set of tweets here from Jordan Acker, who is a lawyer, or as his bio states, a girl dad times 3 and a lawyer. He says, just my prediction here, using NIL as a recruiting incentive will be nearly impossible for most schools to keep up. Why? Worst ROI of any NIL scheme by far. That's not easy to say. I do think they're going to make some schools very successful in the NIL business in the short term. However, eventually donors tire of giving money for nothing, and we will see the pot of NIL money isn't unlimited. The biggest bang for the buck is and will be rising stars and developed talent. There's no such thing as a sure thing in football or any NCAA sport. But the furthest thing from a sure thing is a high school kid in the aggregate. The schools that will be the most successful in the long term from NIL are the ones who successfully build collectives that fund rising stars and above. Eventually, student athletes and prospects will see the same. Will some NIL collectives be very successful and throw lots of money at high school athletes? Yes. But their hit rate will be lower, and they will waste a ton of money on guys that wash out. And I'm sure a lot of Michigan fans are like, we don't care. Just throw the bag at them. Let's get them to Michigan. And maybe that is the right approach. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on NIL and if Michigan is falling behind.